right. You got me. Indeed you do. You've got me right here. Tiny House Live tonight. High above planet Earth on the Inspirational Space Station. Looking forward to something special tonight. I do this occasionally, maybe once every couple years, and this is extra special tonight for me. By that I mean we'll loosely call it a class. After all, I am a professor, as it were, a fake professor, granted. I am, although I do have a D.O.P.E. degree, entitling me to do silly nonsense just like this for you. Why? Because I can. And because this is more than just a little a passion of mine. This is like a big passion of mine, the dark side of Oz. We're going to get into a lot of that, and we're going to talk about what that even means as a good place to start here tonight. A little different for me tonight. Well, not completely different. I've got a margarita made over here. I'm all good to go with my skeleton mug. Stan the skeleton man, I'm sure will be jealous, and he'll be joining me wanting one of his own. I'm sure, no doubt. And we're gonna see a bunch of different alternate versions of The Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd. Now, granted, realize that I can't show you the screening that this is a pre-screening conversation for. Large copyright issues between Warner Brothers and between Pink Floyd and as you can imagine, MGM with The Wizard of Oz. Too many for big battles for me to even begin to wage. I tend to take this way, and I use the Creative Commons copyright law that allows me to teach this as a class. That's why we are here. I typically do this on a date that is connected to The Wizard of Oz or The Dark Side of the Moon. This isn't directly connected because we'll be talking about that date in August, and that's the only clue I'm going to drop for the moment, because I do have a big announcement to make tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. After 5 years, I've got an announcement to make. It'll make a lot of us very, very happy in this part of the world. Sonoma County, California, USA, right here. And Cotati, high above the hills of Pepperland in a little land I like to call Petticoat. You're here with me, fantastic. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of run this kind of loose. I really told myself I wanted to just kind of talk more. I would love to see any conversations coming up over here. I'm kind of getting my legs. We got a little bit of a rough start there. There we go. Great or not, I'm there. Thank you, Angela, for being there with me, making me sure that I'm even up and running. I had a little bit of a late start. RTMP issue. I had to go back and write a code, believe it or not. You think this is easy? No, I'm juggling. That's what keeps me afloat, high above the planet below us. Isn't that nice? Look at it. It's nice and clear out here. Why do I bring you up here? Now, the gravity's nicer, it's looser, and the air is a little cleaner, it's filtered. But more than that, it's to get you off of the standard train of thought we think about when we're down there on the surface, planet Earth. God knows we all have to do what we do every day for the dollar to be here, and this is kind of remove us a little bit. We're going to go a little bit deeper tonight. I've got some actually class instructions. I got a little segment from Carl Jung talking about a word that he coined that I love to use, and it's not even in the dictionary, synchronicity. And if you're wondering what I am a professor of, even though I do have that D.O.P.E. degree, and by the way, that's a degree of personal experience to you. I am a fake professor in the art of synchronology. There you go, synchronology. I believe in synchronistic events. I wrap them in 1,000 little ways in my life to recognize them and be able to use them usefully. And this is why the Dark Side of Oz, or the Dark Side of the Rainbow, or wherever you want to start this story, begins. Why it's been so important to me in my life. And I told myself I'd go backwards in time just for a second and tell you a little something I did as a kid. And I've been involved in synchronization my entire life. And when I was in 6th grade in elementary school, me and some friends carved our instruments out of wood and performed live in front of an audience at 6 years old to the House of the Rising Sun, in horror of the teachers around us as we lip sync to House of the Rising Sun. And it started my edgy career right there in 6th grade, going, I like this. And anyway, that was one of them. And the other one was my dad. My dad was a drummer. I credit him for a lot of my music abilities in the back. He was a big band drummer with the Horton Carter Orchestra. Glad I got that out there tonight, Dad. And I used to listen to him in his hobby room right next to my bedroom as a kid, like just barely teenager. And he's a drummer, so he'd be talking on a CB radio, and he'd be listening to Eddie Harris and Les McCann, and guys playing big organ music, and he'd be chatting away doing his talk. And I realized I was listening to it late at night, that I was listening to these beats, and I was listening to this chatter, and I was listening to this jazz music, and I didn't realize it then, but I knew now. I was listening to some of the first rap. That, put a date on it? Who said put a date on it? I think that'd be around 1963, 64, way back there, kids. Anyway, I told Melvin Seals that story, and he really dug it. He liked that. Where are we? Oh, it looks like we've arrived. Oh, good. We're actually up here now in the Inspirational Space Station. Well, let's see. I've got a bunch of things I'm going to get started on with you tonight. I have a feeling what we need to do is really clue you in to what the dark side of Oz really even is. I've had a few people, and there's one messaging me right now, and I can't answer messages when I'm on the air. It just doesn't work that way. Man only got two hands, and I'm a juggler as it is. Oh, I always got time for one more sip of my margarita, though. Right, Stan? He's not sure yet. He's not happy about it. He'll get his. All right. I want to give you a little background, first of all, what we're even doing. Because a lot of people ask, and maybe you know about the urban legend. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a sink virgin, as we like to say. If you want to chat in with me right there, and I'll give you a thumbs up, Julia. Come on over and join us. There you go. People trying to get in. Can't be any easier. Facebook.com/tinyhouselive, 8 o'clock. Here I am, sitting in my Inspirational Space Station, floating high above you. Look up, wave at me. I'll wave. There they are. Hi. Anyway, where was I? Oh, I'm cluing you in on what this even is, because what I do is I take The Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and in this case, in my final version here, The Wall, and mix them into a format that's all combined into one. Before I go too far into the construction and all that, and that's what I told myself in my notes here, that I was going to back out for a second, because I want to play you a little piece of the minute and a half promo that I use that kind of shows what it is we're doing, and how we're doing it, and again, it's just a common background that I could be able to show you. And then we'll come right back, and I think I'm going to have to fix Stan a margarita, I'm sure. Hang on a second here. There we go. All right. Be right back, my friends. Enjoy
Perhaps
this.
you are familiar with the synchronicity of watching The Wizard of Oz while listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and many still wonder today whether it's just a coincidence or was it purposely done. Some people feel that there are just too many coincidences not to take notice. For instance, if you were to start the album on the third lion roar of the MGM logo, you'll notice that the lyric, "balanced on the biggest wave," coincides with Dorothy's balancing act on the fence. You would also notice that the side one of the vinyl album is exactly as long as the black and white portion of the film. Also, the cash register in Money is heard right as the color is seen in Oz, in the color equals money metaphor. You'll also find that the brain damage plays as the Scarecrow sings "If I Only Had a Brain," and the heartbeat at the end of the album is heard as Dorothy listens to the Tin Man's chest, and that is only just the beginning of the list of unbelievable coincidences. We caught up with Nick Mason, drummer for Pink Floyd, to get his thoughts on the urban legend, and to find out if he's ever watched The Wizard of Oz while listening to The Dark Side of the Moon.
I've heard the myth, and I've actually sort of seen how it works, and it's very impressive, but I mean, there are two elements to that. One is, who on earth spent that much time working with that track and that movie? And you could try it. You could probably try it with other records and other films. I mean, maybe Ben-Hur and The Wall would work.
Hey, Professor. How about making me up a fine margarita, top shelf?
A margarita? All right, buddy. I'll do that for you.
Yep, I know, but I still want one.
You're a silly man. You're a silly man.
I get it
silly
myself.
Skeleton man, you are.
I'm just.
Oh, all right. Get back here to the planet we're on. Yes, right here. You are on this planet, my planet, circling high above you still. Look here, and the Inspirational Space Station. Going to get deeper into the dark side of Oz. Did that give you a little information? That little background piece that I put together. It shows you the relationship of the two common forms that as they apply together. And what I've done is I've gone back and I've re-edited the entire Dark Side of Oz and Wizard of Oz into one substance that you can listen and watch. Now, it takes 2.5 repetitions of Dark Side of the Moon to equal the length of the Wizard of Oz. And going backwards in time, and maybe it's the time to do that, we'll go back to when we think. There's a big question mark here, and when you say that this begins on the third lion roar, who said it begins on the third lion roar? Nobody really still knows exactly, but it's something that's long been a part of the discussion of groups that I belong to, like the Synchronistic Archive. The Synchronistic Archive was born around 1995. It was birthed by a man named Michael Johnston, and Michael had a connection with MTV through a interview that was done right shortly after the introduction of the subject in general by George. I'm getting his name right here. Darn it! I'm forgetting. There it is, right there. Boston DJ George Morris Taylor said on air, if you put these two subject matters together, something magical happens, and that started a large rather boom. He didn't invent it. He's just relating a story. There are chat rooms going back to England where it's been documented that there's sightings of this already happening. But something happens on the third lion roar when you start the Dark Side of the Moon that is just incredible to talk about. It's really best viewed, and I wish I could show you segments. I can tell you that I have a very loose hand-synced segment up on the Dark Side of Oz group that you can check out at any point after this if you like, and it'll show you how the visual relates to the music. There is no dialogue in it like I do, but that's the magic of the Dark Side of Oz, being able to listen to the entire Wizard of Oz with all the music of Pink Floyd and have it be, and you really begin to see the relationship that happens between these. It's really amazing. And by the way, since it repeats 2.5 times to equal the length of the Wizard of Oz, why not take out the middle and replace it with something else? This is something that I've sought after since I caught on in 1997. That's when I caught on through the Synchronistic Archive group. And let me throw some names out because I've got some guys who are still connected to me through there. We don't know what happened to Michael Johnston. I think he's been abducted by aliens. Anybody else know out there? Please forward your information. Carl Toons in Iceland. He's long been a centerpiece of the Synchronistic Archive. We are in very good touch. He may or may not be here. Don't know. You'll see it later, I'm sure, one way or another. Iceland timings, you know. Andrew Winland. Andrew Winland down in L.A., I believe. Andrew's been connected to through the Synchronistic Archive. Great to have him still be in touch, and we are. Stego Kitty. Stego Kitty is loosely connected to me through my YouTube channels. I check out his current film work he does. He's also the creator and archiver of the Synchronistic Q List, which is also on that Facebook group for Dark Side of Oz that you can check out. And that's just facebook.com/groups/Dark Side of Oz. And you'll find that there. And there's a whole cue list that shows you all the synchronistic cues that are involved. Over 120, by the way, in this entire movie. And in my version of Dark Side of Oz, you not only hear all the dialogue from the movie, but you also see like film cues at the bottom of the movie, synchronistic cues as they happen, just to kind of aid in the learning experience of when they happen. You'd be surprised that some of them are very subtle, some of them are very obvious. Songs end when scenes end. Amazing, amazing things happen in that world. Just like this one right here. Thank you, folks. How are we doing over here? I see a couple names up. I can't really restart my program to see how many people are involved. Let me see if I can, darn it. Okay, Michigan. Oh, there you are, Andrew, you are there. Fantastic. I wasn't sure. I don't know why I thought L.A. Glad to have you with us. I just kind of opened up my little browser over here so I can see a little bit more. I was kind of removed from some of that. Andrew, you know as well as I do, if there's something that I need to add in or something that you go, oh, no, that ain't right. It's a topic of conversation and opinion, because there'll be other people. I think probably Laura will probably pop in. We'll say hi to Laura Aldridge. And actually, I want to say hi to John Mayer as well, because John Mayer, no, not that John Mayer. John Mayer, another film guy down in, I'm going to say out Los Angeles. I think that's where I went wrong, Andrew. For his introduction to me to possibly having the wall be the centerpiece of my Dark Side of Oz, at least in a relationship to the Dark Side of the Moon, which it really is. The Dark Side of the Moon and the wall have a lot to do together, subject matter. And what I do is I basically take Dark Side of the Moon, goes into the second half of the wall, stops right before the trial, goes back into Dark Side of the Moon to end it. And all the sinks, or some new ones are discovered by doing that, by the way. So that's my little flag I've planted right there, altering it around. I want to give a big nudge to John, though, for kind of tipping me in that direction, that maybe I should check it there. And once I found out where it needed to start and stop from, then that's what this game is. It's like 1,000 repetitions to find that 1 second of nanosecond of time where things match up the way they should, like the third lion roar in the beginning of Dark Side of the Moon. That's awesome stuff. Now, what I have to, I'm gonna freshen up my margarita. I'm going to look over here and see what else I can maybe pull into our world. Make it simple on myself here. Oh, I know, because this is a class. And, you know, sometimes I approach things like that. You know, sometimes I approach things like a serious class. Not very often. You can't approach college life too serious when you have a D.O.P.E. degree. You know, it's just kind of what it is. So on that note, let's get a real educated person in here. Someone with some real intelligence. And not just green screens. And a little piece I put together describing synchronicity by Carl Jung. Enjoy this. We'll be right back. Stan, I want to make you a margarita. You all right? All right. Okay.
It may prove to be that psyche and matter are actually the same phenomenon, one observed from within and the other from without. Dr. Jung put forward a new concept that he called synchronicity. This term means a meaningful coincidence of outer and inner events that are not themselves causally connected. The emphasis lies on the word meaningful. If an aircraft crashes before my eyes as I am blowing my nose, this is a coincidence of events that has no meaning. It is simply a chance occurrence of a kind that happens all the time. But if I bought a blue frock and by mistake the shop delivered a black one on the day one of my near relatives died, this would be a meaningful coincidence. The two events are not causally related, but they are connected by the symbolic meaning that our society gives to the color black. Wherever Dr. Jung observed such coincidences in an individual's life, it seemed, as the individual's dreams revealed, that there was an archetype activated in the unconscious of the individual concerned. To illustrate this by my example of the black frock, in such a case, the person who receives the black frock might also have had a dream on the theme of death. It seems as if the underlying archetype is manifesting itself simultaneously in inner and external events. The common denominator is a symbolically expressed message, in this case, a message about death. As soon as we notice that certain types of event like to cluster together at certain times, we begin to understand the attitude of the Chinese, whose theories of medicine, philosophy, and even building are based on a science of meaningful coincidences. The classical Chinese texts did not ask what causes what, but rather what likes to occur with what. One can see much the same underlying theme in astrology and in the way various civilizations have depended on consulting oracles and paying attention to omens. All of these are attempts to provide an explanation of coincidence that is different from one that depends on straightforward cause and effect. In creating the concept of synchronicity, Dr. Jung sketched a way in which we might penetrate deeper into the interrelation of psyche and matter. And it is precisely toward such a relation that the symbol of the stone seems to point. But this is still a completely open and insufficiently explored matter with which future generations of psychologists and physicists must deal. Synchronistic events almost invariably accompany the crucial phases of the process of individuation. But too often they pass unnoticed because the individual has not learned to watch for such coincidences and to make them meaningful in relation to the symbolism of his dreams.
Hey, Professor.
What do you say? What do you say?
What up?
What up with you, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're a wise man, Stan. You're a wise man, Stan. My goodness. Juggling skeletons. I'll make one. I promise I'd make you one. So, synchronicity right there. Yeah, Carl Jung, interesting theories. I love to apply the circles in my life. I try to draw from the circles in my life. Sometimes they help me understand what I've been through. Sometimes it gives me a little advanced information on where I'm going, because I tend to create things that I repeat. I repeat myself when under stress. I repeat myself when under stress. I repeat myself when under stress. Good margarita. Good margarita tonight. So, what can we start off with? I want to tell you. I kind of already hit on that already. I did start messing around with some synchronization at the Mystic Theater when I first joined there in the year 2000. And actually, I was messing around with synchronizing Teletubbies and people waltzing to punk rock groups at the end of the beginning as a diversion while I perfected the idea of my Dark Side of Oz. But it was in the year 2000 that I actually took a job at the Mystic Theater as production manager, chief engineer, a beautiful old theater, 500-seater in Petaluma, California. And with that theater came the privilege of being able to use a 30 by 50 movie screen and a projector. And I went to work making music video syncs to throw up at door time so that people could come in and see what was going on and be entertained until the show started. Some of the ones, matter of fact, the first sync I ever made after I discovered my part in the Dark Side of Oz was a sync with Gene Kelly dancing to Singing in the Rain, put it up against Billy Idol's Dancing with Myself, start the sync exactly when Gene Kelly hits his hand on the light pole right at the very beginning and let it run. It fits. And once I realized, there's smaller segments of time here. It doesn't have to be 1 hour and 49-minute segment, even though that's a grandiose sync. And that's why we refer to this as the mother of all syncs. I mean, balancing this much time just on its own is an amazing thing. It's a tightrope. It's a tightrope walk on a slippery slope. That's what I like to say, because you're listening to two subject matters at the same time, and each of them are trying to balance each other out. But that's an amazing thing when you think about it and how that approaches to your life, my life, all of our lives. You know, those things right there really, are something to draw from this balance that you see when you see this live. Unfortunately, I can only show it live. I haven't done it in 5 years. There was COVID for a couple years, and we had some fires that slowed us down. And I've been working now at a new occupation, taking my time for the last 2 years, getting deep into that. But as I told myself, we've just passed the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon, and it's more than time for me to bring this back. And I decided that this was the year 2024, right there, 2024. And I hope any of you within shouting distance who are in Sonoma County, Northern California proper, can join me on this date. And what time is it? I can announce it. I told myself halfway through, I'm returning the Dark Side of Oz back to a place it's been before. And that's good. Now, I've done 12 of these. This will be the 13th lucky episode. This will be my baker's dozen right there, my baker's dozen. Looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. One-man show. I'm going to do it this year, returning to the Redwood Cafe in Cotati. Why the Redwood? I could have done it possibly at the Mystic Theater. Much larger show. I want to do something intimate. I want to have some fun with this. Be in the same room with people in my face. It'll be table seating. It'll be August. It'll be a Sunday, August 11th. Sunday, August 11th. It'll be a 6 o'clock door time, 7 o'clock start. It'll be over by 9 o'clock. And from there, you will walk out entertained, enlightened, and amused. All that in one visit to the Dark Side of Oz. I will be hosting it there on stage. And yes, I have my professor psychology robe from San Francisco State. I've got a ridiculous hat that's come out like that far that it's too big to wear in here. We just, jokingly take this class on the road. A lot of fun, and you'll witness something you haven't seen before. And at the Redwood Cafe, by the way, if you come early enough, and I'll be having promo come out, and you'll hear about all this more in detail. I'll have posters up and all that kind of stuff. But ideally, get there early enough and grab a table because you'll be able to have a really nice dinner while you watch this movie, and that's like, I'm going to have one. And looking forward to that. So that being said, who else did I forget? Oh, my Munchkin this year. My Munchkin. Oh, I wanted to go back and thank some people, actually, while I'm even still. I'm going to do that at the end. There's some people who appeared on the show already in the season 12. I want to go back and thank particularly at the end of the show. I was going to mention Mindy Levine, who was in the show with me, a couple of months ago. Hello, Mindy. Mindy has agreed to be my Munchkin. What that means, she'll find out. But basically, it's a moral support for me. She's perfect. She's perfect. We do this thing in here. It's great. Mindy Levine will be my Munchkin. Once again, that'll be his Sunday, August 11th at the Redwood Cafe, Cotate, and roughly 6 o'clock door, 7 o'clock start. Sharp. It'll be a class. Sharp. Yep. All right. Now what have I got for you? Well, I have a little bit of a history that I can run down, and I'm wondering if I should branch out for a second. And I'm looking at my notes, obviously, because this is a little loose for me tonight. I've got a lot of things lined up. Oh, I know. Oh, this is fun. We're going to do this, and then it'll get serious. There's a lot of variations. A lot of times at my screenings, I use what I call Introduction to Oz. And I do a 10 or 15 minute little introduction before we get serious about the real reason we're there, the Dark Side of Oz. And this little segment is something that I have used a number of times. So I'm gonna bring this up over here for you, and we're gonna laugh about it. You're gonna like this. This is definitely an alternate version. Yes, many things happen in my world. Here's a little promo and something very fun and entertaining for you. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this because I've watched it 100 times, and each time I watch it, I love it. Here's a promo for you first.
I'm going to show you something beautiful. You're all puppets, tangled in strings. There are no strings on me.
Oh, come back! Oh, come back! Please don't go without me. Please come back!
I can't come back. I don't know how it works. But goodbye, folks.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, no, I'll never get home.
Stay with us then, Dorothy. We love you. We don't want you to go.
Oh, that's very kind of you. But this could never be like Kansas.
Look, Dorothy. There's someone who can help you.
Oh my. Oh. Oh, will you help me? Can you help me?
You don't need to be helped any longer. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas.
Excuse me?
Why didn't you tell her before?
Because she wouldn't have believed me.
Are you out of your mind? You came down in a big bubble. I would have believed anything that you said. If you told me that the only way to get home is to lick the Lollipop Guild, I would have done it.
But then you never would have met us.
I could have done without the three of you. Teenage girl skipping down the road with three dudes. I had to sleep with my hands between my legs. Thought I had the dog.
You didn't have to be afraid of me, Dorothy.
Believe me, I picked up on that right away, Tinseltoes. So, how do I get home, you witch!
Just click your heels.
Click my heels? Listen, baby talk, I'm about a hair away from punching you in the face.
Please don't touch me.
Zip it, homo. So I click my heels. Then what? It better be more complicated than that, or I'm gonna go ballistic.
Oh, it's much more complicated than that. You have to click your heels and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And you would have been home in 2 seconds.
I could have been home 2 seconds after I got here.
Oh, there are many other ways you could have gotten home. You could have clapped your hands. You could have winked or brushed your eyelash. You could have sneezed or turned your head quickly. Any of those ways, and you would have been home.
Oh, you psycho glitter bitch! I almost went up in a balloon with that crazy old man. You're enjoying this, aren't you, you sick? You're so much worse than the other witches. Well, at least I knew where I stood with them. You're two-faced.
Well, I was just trying to help you. I was trying to teach you a lesson.
Teach me a lesson? You're not my parents. My parents are dead. I live with my Auntie Em and 3 creepy uncles who are pawing at me every day and telling me how pretty I look in my checkered dress. Teach me a lesson. How dare you? Come on!
This is terrible. Someone's going to get hurt. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
There's no place like home.
Joel, wake up.
There's no place like home.
Wake up.
Oh my God, Eric. I just had the most insane Judy Garland dream.
Oh, my big, strong tin woodsman had a bad night. Oh, you need a little TLC, if you know what I mean.
No, you won't.
Oh, let me get the oil can.
Oh, don't you dare. Oh, my God.
Hey, oh, no, hey, Professor. I got a question for you.
Give it to me.
Is it Friday yet? Oh, it's Margarita Friday yet? Oh, it's only Wednesday? I gotta wait till Friday to get boozy woozy. Boozy woozy, baby.
Already boozy woozy.
I might get a head start this week.
You might have to.
I think it's about time we get back to the business at hand. Come on, Professor. Oh yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Stan. Back to the business at hand. Oh, goodness. Welcome, planet Earth. Hello. All right, I know, lame-o, funny, come on, you know, that's what we're doing. We're talking about alternate versions of The Wizard of Oz, alternate versions of Pink Floyd's music, all on display here around planet Earth. Look at it, I've got the whole world in my hands. Sing the song. There you go, right there. Love you for joining me on this little side adventure of what we're doing. I've got a couple more things to lay out to you. I'm not going to go too deep into some of the shows that I have done. I should tell you, I want to go down my list really quickly to show you some of the themes and how they've changed through the years. I never repeat things twice. So for me, a rewrite typically takes about 3 months for me to re-edit all this stuff into a new version. And it's a lot of work, believe me. 2007 and 2008, I did the first hand-synced versions at the Mystic Theater. That's where I just lined it up just like traditionally we did. You start the music and the video right on the third lion roar, and everything totally separated. You just listen to Dark Side of the Moon, no dialogue. And I did that for 2 years to staff and friends, close friends there at the Mystic, and it was a lot of fun. We actually had a lot of fun with it, and I thought, God, what can I do though? I got to do something more with this. So I thought, I'm going to take a year and I'm going to do a ton of editing. That's when I made my first edited version of what I call the Dark Side of Oz. What we played originally is what I refer to as the Dark Side of the Rainbow, the original hand-synced version. So for that, with my Dark Side of Oz, I spent another 3 months in editing to come together with something that I called the first Dark Side of Oz revealed, and that's where I put all the dialogue from the movie into it. I got to tell you, while I was doing that, it was really tough. There were times where I just felt like this is crazy. I mean, there were times when walking that tightrope, you're just about to fall off. And then all of a sudden, something pulls you back. Some synchronistic event pulls you back into what the reality of what the Dark Side of Oz is. It just amazed me. The more I worked on it, like I've combined the Somewhere Over the Rainbow with On the Run. I call it Somewhere Over the Rainbow on the Run. There you go. And I weave them together into something that made sense. Now, in this movie, I did leave the musical scores alone. The Tin Man, the Lion, and of course the Scarecrow. Their songs are stable, and they are what they are in there. I wouldn't change that because that's a big important part of this. And I did just kind of weaved out of those and weaved back in, maintaining the same synchronistic connection all the way through the entire film, without ever changing my timing or without ever altering anything to make something fit. So it truly is, even though I pieced it together piece by piece, still all in its original hand-synced version form, just a little more in depth, we'll say. So that's what I've been doing. Now, once I did the original version, then I said, what else can I do then? Well, that year I worked at the Mystic Theater with Easy Star All-Stars, and they produced an album called Dub Side of the Moon, where they recorded the entire Dark Side of the Moon and did it to a reggae form, which is beautiful. They're an amazing band, Easy Star All-Stars, and they made the Dub Side of the Moon. Now, when I did work with their engineer, he told me that basically they knew about the synchronistic connection of the subjects and actually went back and made their own timing exactly the same as Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. That way, when I heard that, I went, oh my God, there's golden. There's the center part for my next video. I can take, instead of going Dark Side of the Moon and repeating it 2.5 times, I can go Dark Side of the Moon, Dub Side of the Moon, back to Dark Side to end it. That's what I did in 2010, which was a lot of fun. We discovered the Rasta Lion. There's some things that happened that I can't even begin to explain because they're visual and syncs. You know, you'll have to see that. Maybe I'll be doing that one again. Then the next year, I was working with Poor Man Whiskey. They put out their own Dark Side of the Moon album. I invited them on stage. They came and they played in between the video, and I edited, for the first time, edited someone else's video and music into the Dark Side of Oz, leaving the traditional, completely synced version for a second to get their song in there. But it's amazing. First time I'd actually included another band's music and video into the Dark Side of Oz, and had them on stage too. Amazing band. Poor Man's Whiskey. Go see them. They're around. Of course they are. And I called that Dub Side of the Moonshine. Sure I did. After that, you know, I did a version called Dark Side of Oz, Occupy Oz, where we were all occupying different tents were being put up everywhere, and everybody's occupying as a form of protest. And I put a tent on stage, and I it's so elaborate what I did, but I have to tell you that it was a sight to be seen, and we had so much fun. We had so much fun doing it. Then 2013, I did The Dark Side of Oz Reclaimed. I came back and did it one more time. 2014, I moved the entire showcase over to Zodiac's in Petaluma, performed it over there. 2015, I took it to West County, and we did it at the Aubergine, Dark Side of Oz, Somewhere Over the Wall. This is the first time I touched on the subject of the wall, and which I've refined, and that's what I'm working with now, and that's what you'll see when you join me, if you can, August 11th at the Redwood Cafe, and you'll be seeing some of that. From there, I took it over to the Phoenix Theater, kids, and I did a special ed class at the Phoenix Theater. It was a lot of fun. All the kids were up in the balcony ogling what was going on. That was the reason I wanted to do it. I wanted the kids to see this. And they did. It was fantastic. After that, I took it to the Redwood Cafe in 2017, and I did a return to 2018, where I did a version of Dark Side of Oz and the dub side, and the version with the a cappella vocals. 2019, I took the year off from doing 11 years straight, and took everybody to Bollywood. We did a musical on Bollywood. I've also resynced what I call Floydtasia, and that's all the music from the entire Pink Floyd catalog and edited it into music of Fantasia. The only thing different about my version is the conductor gives you some bad information. That's right, just like this material. You like this? I like it. All right, well, where are we at here? I've kind of gone through some of the lists, gave you some information about what has been. We will see what will be. I'm looking forward to actually hanging out with you guys. I think I've got another thing to play here. I should do that. Let me back out here a little bit. I got a few more minutes with you. I told myself I was going to shoot for an hour, and that. Oh, you know what? I took a vacation. Would you like to see my vacation? I took a vacation to Oz. Well, you might say this guy does this all the time, but it's not that long. It was a nice little vacation. Do this. I'm going to freshen me and stand up. You enjoy this.
Welcome to Kansas. See if Auntie M's in there baking some cookies. But if you hear anything strange, make your way down into the storm cellar. We're expecting a twister, okay?
Okay, we'll do that.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
What's up? Hi. How you doing? It's good. Oh, and we got a woodman up here too. Great, how are you?
What are you guys doing all the way out here in the middle of the yellow brick road? Trying to find the wizard?
Yes. Yes, that is why.
If you see him, tell him that I need a heart.
Okay,
And oil. Thank you so much.
All right. Oh, goodness gracious. The sign, we did not heed the sign. Thanks for the warning, man.
Here's our go.
Most excellent. Oh, a waterfall. Yeah, that's true. It got better. It's actually quite a big park.
Yeah. Who knew that? It's funny, right?
Hello. Great, how are you? Poppies. Uh-oh. Are you guys feeling sleepy?
Oh, here's that gate.
Oh.
Saw the photo of.
That we assumed was the entrance.
Yeah. How wrong we were. It also looked larger in the picture.
It did. Of course, I think we assumed that the road was larger.
I think we did.
Yeah, it was my vacation. I take vacations. We should all take vacations. Vacation from reality. That's what I do on Wednesday nights. Right here, Tiny House Live. Hi from the Inspirational Space Station. Look up. Wave. Give me a wave. I see you down there. Oh, Paul, Angela, glad to have you with me tonight. Hi, Karen. You know, we're just kind of hanging for a few more minutes. I've got maybe one more little segment I want to play for you, and then duck on out of here. Oh, you know, that's what I was going to do before I play this last thing. I want to go back and get some shout-outs to some past guests who've been on what I've loosely called Season 12, although I've now come down to doing about a show a month, which I really like. It gives me a chance to really make my production quality a little bit better, and I've got some more guests coming in that are going to push that limit with me, that's for sure. as I love to do. So let me get some shout outs first of all to Sebastian St. James, who came in here and just did such a remarkable job all the way from the NASA silver suit. We laid down some music with his looper. We did a great show. These are all available either on my Facebook channel, or you can go backwards. You can go over to my Viral Media Art on my YouTube channel, and that'd be youtube.com/viralmediaart. And that's the archive for everything I do over there. And then there's all the Facebook stuff over here. So, you know, I'm archiving over there. This show will be over there. Oh, give me 2 or 3 days, and it ends up like that. But you'll be able to see all that. Okay, yeah, I want to give another shout out to Dan Durkin, who came in. We laid some music down in a little pre-recording session. Then we went live for a song or two. Thank you, Dan, the man. Love you, brother, for coming in and doing that. And Mark Karen. Mark Karen was here on a Christmas show. What fun that was. Unfortunately for me, I had some technical issues, and which didn't give me all the results that I wanted, like editing out some material. So Mark Karen's going to be back really soon, within the next month or so. He's been out on tour with everybody, frankly, so it's great to have Mark back in our house. Sometime in the next month or so. I mentioned Mindy Levine. Mindy did a great show with me in here on Valentine's Day. She was my Valentine's. We had a wonderful, wonderful dinner together on air. I cooked for her. You saw the results. That's available on once again, check my videos on Facebook or go to the YouTube channel, Viral Media Art, and you can see that up. A lot of fun. There's a lot of entertainment over there. I've got over 300 shows in the can. I've been doing this now for, we'll say 6 years. And, yeah, producing a lot of shows, just myself in here. And I love it when I bring people in to help me, like Angeline Saris. Angeline has been in just within the past number of months as well. Angeline, amazing, amazing bass player, going back to Zepparella. She's off now with Adrian Blue working with new material. There's a whole bunch of people. I can't even get it. And Todd Rundgren. There's a bunch of people that I can't even get in mentioning because she's all over the place. Session player, perfect. Donovan Stark. Donovan, come on, man. Can't wait for Donovan to get back in again. We had so much fun. Last year, he came in at Christmas last year. So it's been a while, but I wanted to mention his name because I'm throwing that out there because I want something like that to happen again. We'll see. You know, he can't stay too long. He's got a bus. He can travel. He can travel. I look forward to that whenever it can happen. And, of course, where would I be without mentioning our dear good friend Eric Martin, who's out there all around the world traveling right now. We've been communicating a little bit, and I think there's a very, very good connection when he finds his way back home again in Northern California, that our EM will drop in and pay us a visit, and we'll catch up on some of the fun stuff as he does his Mr. Big World Tour finale, we'll say. Looking forward to that, obviously. Always big news, always a lot of fun in here for that. All right. Hey there. Oh, hello, Karen. I see you. Hi, Kay. Good to have you with us. Yeah, I'm going to play one more little thing here, I think, because that's what I've been presenting tonight outside of letting you, updating some of the things that are happening in our world. And I'm going to arrange something right there. Yeah, you're going to like this. And we'll come back and wrap all this up. And hang with me another couple of minutes, and we'll have some fun. Here, check this out. This is another, well, what I'll call an amazing alternate version of we'll say The Wizard of Oz, done by Pogo. I've used a number of Pogo's material, mashup artist, sync artist himself. So I throw that out there as well. Pogo, and enjoy this, and we'll be right back.
Here, in a world where the sun burns cold and the wind blows colder, a visitor has come, but not by herself. The suspense is back.
And we have no weapons of any kind?
The fear is back.
Ah! Don't look back, dude! Run as fast as you can!
And most of all, the bitch is back.
This is the same genuine just by the you're running down to be running. And it's funny. This is the same genuine just inside down to be you're running. This is the same genuine just by the you're running down to be running. And it's funny. This is the same genuine just inside down to be you're running. That acts a while away and really that acts up and that acts a while away and really that acts up that acts a while away and really that acts up arrows that acts a while away and forgetting that acts up that acts a while away and really that acts up arrows that acts a while away and forgetting that acts up that acts a while away and really that acts up arrows that acts a while away and forgetting that acts up that acts up old gosh heaven that acts up that acts up old gosh heaven that acts up that acts up old gosh heaven that acts up that acts up old gosh heaven that acts up that acts a while away that acts a while away getting that acts up that acts a while away that acts a while away getting that acts up this is the same genuine just by the you're running down to be running and it's funny this is the same genuine just inside down to be you're running this is the same genuine just by the you're running down to be running and it's funny this is the same genuine just inside down to be you're running this is the same genuine just by the you're running down to be running and it's funny this is the same genuine just inside down to be you're running use that hands up oh gosh heaven use that hands up oh gosh heaven that hands up
Well, that was fun. Come on. Just bringing something a little light to you, a little fun to you, a little variations on things we find down here on planet Earth. Things that make me want to come up here and hang out with you high above the hills of Petticoat. Glad to have you here with me tonight. We're going to kind of wrap all this up right now. I want to let you know one more time that I'm really looking forward to doing the 13th lucky chapter of the Dark Side of Oz, Somewhere Over the Wall. So this will be a very special occasion for me, and it'll be my baker's dozen, my 13th baker's dozen. So that's really gonna be a lot of fun for me to bring this back. I love to watch the audience when they watch this. It's things happen you just can't explain, and people's jaws just drop. and it's a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I think I'm kind of done right here. I think I want to thank you all for being as wonderful as you typically are in my world. I know this is a little different than most of my shows, but at the same time, that's what we all demand. That's what I demand for myself. Something different. Know that I'll be back soon. I'll make another announcement on a show coming up. I've got some people in line right now that I'm looking forward to bringing in here with a little more musical nature. And some new albums that are happening that I want to help promote, and some new activities around the county that I want to help promote. And that's what I love to do here in my tiny house high in the hills of Petticoat. I probably couldn't hear them tonight, but I've got goats in the background. They've been knocking things over not too far from me. Baby goats right here, not too far from my microphones. So you heard any banging and clicking. That's what that was. All right, my friends. Let's see here. Yep. Let's do this on the way out and see if there's anything I've forgotten. I don't think so. I've kind of said everything I needed to say to you tonight. I love you. Thanks for being here with me. I hope you can join me on August 11th at the Redwood Cafe. I'll have some more information up soon. You can always message me on my Tiny House Live page. By the way, you can find any of this, as if you don't already know, at facebook.com/tinyhouselive. That's the address I broadcast to, and that's where you can see all this. And once again, I archive over to my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/viralmediaart. That is the umbrella on which I live under. So thank you for joining me tonight. And I look forward to, well, some of you I know won't be here, and I wish I could show you what it is I'm talking about. I can tell you that you can do this yourself. I don't want to let this, just because I've edited up this master version with all this kind of crazy in it, doesn't mean you can't do this yourself. All you have to be able to do is be able to watch on a we'll say a DVD, just a DVD of The Wizard of Oz, and play your hi-fi playing a CD or an album if you have a record player of The Dark Side of the Moon, and just drop that dark side right at the beginning of the third lion roar. As soon as the lion roars its third time, hit that to go to listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and just let it go. The DVD set it on loop, so it'll continue to repeat, and you'll see how this works for yourself. And you can do it yourself. It's quite an amazing thing. I know a lot of people have done it. I've had a couple comments already going, that's old. People have been doing that. Bong wash. I've heard all that. It's an opportunity to do something, that really, it's just an amazing wonderment that it happens at all, that you can participate in this. I swear it raises your reality, it raises your consciousness to recognize the larger circles in life and how they apply. And this right here is the mother of them all. So to understand her is to begin to understand all the little circles in your life. And the one I enjoy the most is the big circle that brings you right back to me, right here on Tiny House Live. That's a great wrap-up right there, Professor. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to wish you all a very good night, and maybe I'll give you a little wave from another part of my world over here. Sure. There we go. Hang on a second here. Oh, I see what's going on. Well, in my control room around me. Why not? Darn right. All right, my friends. Love you dearly. Love you dearly. There I am. Why not? Bye. Oh, enjoy your evening, folks. Enjoy your evening.
Reach the wizard.